guys are being goofy, so.
Bring forth the ring, Frodo. Yes. Matthew, yes, bring forth the word, Daddy. Got it. So Matthew chapter 12, verse 15. But when Jesus knew it, referring to the Pharisees holding counsel against him so they could destroy him, he withdrew himself from thence, as in one of the synagogues. Probably a synagogue in Capernaum or a synagogue in Jerusalem or something along those lines. He withdrew it from himself from thence, and great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all, and charged them that they should not make him known, that it might be fulfilled what was spoken by the prophet Esaias, saying, Behold my servant, whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my spirit is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall shew judgment to the Gentiles. Interesting is Isaiah 42:1, and if you cannot hold it together, then you need to leave. If you have to laugh about all of your farts, then you have a serious issue. And I'm in the middle of teaching. You need to learn how to walk into maturity. Do you understand? Respond, please.
Yes, sir.
Behold my servant in whom I uphold, mine elect in whom I delighteth. I have put my spirit upon him, and he shall bring forth judgment to the Gentiles. Which is tied up directly with Matthew chapter 4, I believe. Where he says, chapter 3. And a voice from heaven saying, This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. So cross-referenced over there, my beloved, and with whom my soul is well pleased. So the Father was actually speaking of Isaiah 42:1. He was connected to Isaiah 42. The words that the Father spoke, and behold, my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. That was from Isaiah 42:1. Father was just repeating what was already in the text. With whom my soul is well pleased, I will put my spirit upon him. He shall shew judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not strive nor cry, and neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed shall he not break, and smoking flax shall he not quench, till he send forth judgment unto victory. And in his name shall the Gentiles trust. The reason why I pointed out the laughter and all this other stuff and the tittling and everything else with respect to the gas is because you were attempting to take center stage. I do not care if you engage in normal bodily functions, but your attitude needs to be such where you keep it together so that I can continue teaching. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Your regular teachers feel the same way.
Because when it takes center stage, it distracts from what's going on. And it's immature to laugh or to yell about or scream about people passing gas. So, Jesus knew about the counsel to destroy him. He withdrew into the wilderness, or he withdrew himself at least from the town. And there's a whole boatload of people that followed him, and he began the process of healing them. And he said, don't go and tell anybody, because he was just trying to do the work of God and it not be known. You know, this concept is from the Sermon on the Mount. Don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. In other words, do it in secret. And your Father who sees what is done in secret will what?
Reward you. Openly.
Openly. Thank you. Reward you openly. Reward you in public. Favor. Honor. You know, beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. Isaiah 61:2. And he said, don't tell anybody, so that it could be fulfilled what was spoken by Isaiah, saying, this is with whom my soul is well pleased, my spirit's upon him, he will show judgment, which means decision. for the Gentiles. All judgment means is decision. It's not necessarily wrath. It's not necessarily I'm going to sentence you or arraign you. It's this is my decision. Exercise judgment and justice. So, when we are dealing with the concept of justice and judgment, we need to recognize we are charged to judge a great many things. We're charged to decide between two or more options in a matter. We're charged to execute, to walk in the mishpat, please take bites, because I am not going to ask you again. Thank you. We are charged to engage in his execution. When we're charged to do so, not with, flamboyance and grandiloquence and ooh, look at me. We are charged to say, hey, this is my decision. Do you have anything to add, my dear?
Good teaching, thank you.
He shall not strive nor cry out, nor shall any man hear his voice in the streets. He's going, in other words, the things that he is going to do, he's going to do in secret. He's going to do quietly. But he's just going to get it done. We have a lot of people who like to talk about what they're going to do but never do it. Big hat, no cattle. A big advertisement campaign, tiny performance. We have a lot of tiny performers that in the smallness of their spirit, they advertise how much they're going to do, and yet they end up doing very little. They end up accomplishing very little. They end up sewing very few principles together. This is not a sew one or two principles together. This is hundreds of principles. Complex solutions for complex problems. And this is it's done in secret. We act, and our reputation precedes us. And in his name, as a result, those people who are not God's elect will trust in this name. And as a result, they become God's elect. As a result of the trusting, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit respond to that trust. So just some thoughts on this passage. The next one we will be dealing with will be verses 22 and following to the end of the chapter, and we will have that in a couple of sections. So, gang, we love you guys, and we ask you to be blessed. Take care.